In today's Farm Report, keeping cows and calves healthy on the dairy farm is important for any producer, but as Emily Wilmes with the University of Minnesota Extension Service office points out, there is another group that producers should also keep their eye on.
There seems to be a lot of information out there on two main groups of animals on the dairy farm, calves and cows. While calves and cows are essential members of the operation, just as important are the heifers. Particularly, I'm talking about heifers that are about 5 months of age up to calving age. This is a big chunk of time, and there's a lot happening in that heifer's life. It's important that we are providing this group with the proper environment as they grow and develop. By 5 months of age, heifers should be acclimated to a group housing environment and needing to share bunk space. An important housing consideration is providing enough space as heifers grow. Also, providing housing that can facilitate tasks such as herd health checks, breeding, and ration changes. Additionally, the amount of shelter heifers need decreases as they age. There are several options for housing heifers in an extended age group, but all housing must provide some key components for optimum care and growth. Group and feed heifers based on age and size. Keeping heifers similar in size together can make feeding easier, and keeping heifers of similar ages together makes management simpler. Speaking of making things easy, housing for heifers should allow for easy movement of animals as well as easy observation. Keeping gate systems simple and uniform across pens will help with this. In addition, bedding and removal of manure should be convenient, and housing should provide adequate ventilation. These components come together to provide a clean and comfortable environment for the heifers. Another piece of keeping heifers comfortable is keeping them in facilities that provide adequate bunk space and constant access to clean, fresh water. There are many options for heifer housing, and I can't say which one is better than the other. As long as the previously listed components are met, the housing type used should work for you and your heifers. I have seen heifers housed in free stalls, monoslope barns, and three-sided sheds, old tie stall barns, and bedded packs, and they all seem to work as long as all of the grouping and facility requirements are met. If you are looking at retrofitting a current structure, it is very important to make sure that the structure meets those requirements or can be modified in order to meet them. Especially look at the ventilation of the facility. Calves and cows are important, but just as important are your heifers. Providing your heifers with proper housing will ensure you can offer the best management. If you have any questions about heifer housing, call me at the Stearns County Extension Office at 320-255-6169, extension 3. This is Emily Wilmes with University of Minnesota Extension.
The state of our union is strong.
President Obama saying those words for the 8th and final time in his address to Congress. No direct references to agriculture, but some to issues that affect U.S. agriculture. The president saying that U.S. power and influence in the world is more than military. It's doing things to foster business and trade. The Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, for example.
It cuts 18,000 taxes on products made in America, which will then support more good jobs here in America. With TPP, China does not set the rules in that region. We do. You want to show our strength in this new century? Approve this agreement. It's the right thing to do.
The president also talking about his move to normalize diplomatic relations with Cuba, but that trade relations are stymied because the trade embargo is still in place.
If you want to consolidate our leadership and credibility in the hemisphere, recognize that the Cold War is over. Lift the embargo.
Agricultural officials say it could mean hundreds of millions of dollars in sales of U.S. food and farm products to Cuba. Gary Crawford for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Washington.
The University of Minnesota Extension Service offers educational opportunities for producers throughout the year. One upcoming one is targeting women in agriculture and will be held in St. Cloud. Emily Wilmes, livestock educator with the University of Minnesota Extension Service office, has more.
University of Minnesota Extension is hosting a Women in Agriculture conference on February 18th at the Kelly Inn in St. Cloud. This inaugural event will be a day of learning and networking for women involved in agriculture in the region. Registration begins at 9 and the conference will be from 9:30 to 3. Keynote speaker for the conference is Dr. Robert Milligan, Cornell Professor Emeritus and Senior Consultant with Dairy Strategies, LLC. Milligan is a popular and frequent ag leadership speaker. His message for the day will challenge participants to proactively and aggressively address the future of their farm business. Breakout sessions will feature farm communications and relations, farm transition and estate planning, farm payroll and tax planning, and the farm image. Topics throughout the day will encourage women to learn, lead, manage, and network, all which will benefit their farm operation. Registration is required for this conference. The early bird registration fee is $50 and is due by February 12th. Other registrations are accepted until February 16th at the cost of $65. Registration can be completed in 3 ways. The first way is online, and if you register online, it's actually only $45, so you'll save $5. To register online, visit www.regonline.com/womeninag. You can also register by mail by sending your check to the Wilmer Regional Office. Or you can register by phone by calling 320-235-0726, extension 2001. For more information on the conference, visit z.umn.edu/agrowomen. If you have any questions or would like the registration information again, you can call me at the Stearns County Extension Office at 320-255-6169, extension 3. This is Emily Wilmus with University of Minnesota Extension.
Volatile oil prices making news this week. On Wednesday, oil was up and down, and then down below $30 a barrel at one point. Prices have fallen to 12-year lows. Now, what effect could this be having on the U.S. ethanol industry?
As the price for crude oil comes down, that makes biofuels less attractive as an alternative.
But Agriculture Department Chief Economist Rob Johansson says there are countering factors to that. First, we've got the RFS, which mandates more ethanol use this year. Also,
low gas prices means that U.S. drivers are going to drive more. They're going to consume more regular gasoline, E10, and that will push up demand for ethanol to be blended in normal gasoline. It'll just make it more difficult to blend higher than E10. So E85, E15 will be harder to blend.
And low gas prices will and are making it harder for ethanol plants to make a profit.
Margins will be very tight.
But Johansson sees no cutback in production, no plants in imminent danger of closing down. Gary Crawford for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Washington.